Hello everyone, welcome to Daily English Pro, your place to improve English every single day. Stay focused, listen carefully, and try to repeat after what you hear. Let's get started.
Today's podcast, IELTS Vocabulary Listening Practice topic name is 25 plus IELTS Vocabulary Essential Words, Part 05. Welcome to the deep dive.
So we've got this fantastic list of, 27 essential words, really curated to help you, our listeners, get a better command of complex ideas. And our mission today, it's a bit elevated. We're not just, going over definitions. We want to really dig into why these specific words are on this list, understand their power, how they're used in context. The goal is to help you pick the perfect word every single time, moving past just knowing it to really mastering it.
That's a great way to put it because, look, if you want to communicate effectively, maybe it's an SAA business meeting, or honestly, even just thinking things through clearly for yourself, these words are like specialized tools.
Right.
We're going beyond just big. We need to figure out, okay, when do I pull out colossal instead of just gigantic? How does that choice actually change the message? That precision, that's what this deep dive is all about unlocking. Okay, let's jump right in then. Section 1 is about describing scale, authenticity, and flaws. First up, enormous. Definition is pretty straightforward, very large in size, quantity, or extent. But I like how the examples showed the range. It's not just a huge elephant. It could be enormous funding or even something abstract like enormous talent.
Exactly. And that word enormous, it carries a certain weight, doesn't it? You could say huge talent, sure, but enormous feels heavier, more significant.
Yeah.
And then you look at the synonyms provided, gigantic and colossal. That's where you really see the scale shift. Gigantic is mostly about sheer physical size.
Okay.
But colossal, that often implies something almost overwhelming. Monumental. Sometimes it's even used for like a colossal failure, something huge in a negative way. It adds drama.
Ah, okay. So a massive old statue might be colossal because of that monumental feel.
Precisely.
Whereas maybe just a really big meal is enormous.
You've got it. Colossal often invokes a sense of awe or a scale that's beyond the everyday. Think about a project facing colossal challenges. It suggests they're not just big problems, they're almost insurmountable, much stronger than just huge.
Got it. Okay, moving to character. Word 2 is sincere, defined as free from pretense or deceit, genuine and honest. The examples really focus on relationships and integrity, don't they? Like a sincere apology to fix a friendship or voters wanting sincere leaders.
And this word is just vital for clear communication because it cuts through the fluff. The real nuance, though, comes with those synonyms, heartfelt and candid.
Right.
A heartfelt comment comes from deep emotion, right? Great for apologies, gratitude, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Candid. That's about direct honesty. Unvarnished truth. You give candid feedback. You offer a heartfelt apology. If you mix them up, say you give sincere and heartfelt feedback. It might sound too emotional when you just needed to be direct and honest. The context really tells you whether you need that emotional genuineness of heartfelt or the straight truth of candid.
That's a really sharp distinction. Knowing if you're aiming for connection or just clarity. Okay, third word here is imperfect. Not perfect, having faults or defects. I thought the diamond example was interesting. The imperfect diamond still being valuable. It changes the feeling from it's broken to it's flawed, but maybe still good.
It does, and it forces you to think about the type of flaw. Is something inherently flawed, or is it just faulty?
What's the difference there?
Well, think about the example of human nature being inherently imperfect. That aligns with flawed, suggesting a kind of fundamental, maybe unavoidable weakness.
Okay.
But faulty usually points to a mechanism or how something was done, like a faulty switch on a machine, or, like the source says, a plan might be imperfect but better than nothing. That means the idea might be flawed, but the execution isn't necessarily faulty. It's a key difference when you're critiquing something. Are you hitting the concept or the execution?
Right. The design versus the operation. That makes sense. Let's shift gears now to relevance and completeness. Word number 4 is obsolete. Defined as no longer produced or used. Out of date. Great examples, floppy disks, obviously, but also things like outdated traditions. Things that just aren't relevant anymore.
And it's stronger than just saying something's old, isn't it? Obsolete implies it's been made useless, usually by time or progress.
Yeah.
And that synonym, superseded, is really telling. If something's obsolete, it might have just faded away. But if it's superseded, that means something else actively replaced it because it was better or more effective. New software doesn't just make the old version obsolete, it supersedes it. It's an active replacement driven by progress, captures that whole dynamic of change.
So an old tradition might just become obsolete.
Falls out of use.
But a technology gets superseded when a better one takes over. Got it. Okay, next is total. We use this one all the time, but the definition is comprising the whole number or amount, entire. We notice it's used for quantity, like total cost, but also intensity, like a total disaster.
And that switch from just quantity to describing intensity, that's why total is on this list. You have to connect it to the synonyms entire and absolute.
How so?
Well, entire is really just about the whole physical set or space, the entire room, the entire book, complete coverage.
Okay.
Absolute, though, that's an intensifier. It focuses on certainty, purity, or a high degree of something, like absolute power or absolute silence.
Right.
So when you say total disaster, you're tapping into that absolute quality. It means the failure was complete, unqualified, intense. Using total quantity works, sure, the total number of votes, but it packs a bigger punch when it describes an absolute state.
Helps make descriptive writing stronger. Okay, and speaking of clarity, let's tackle untrue. This one has that tricky double meaning.
It really does.
It can mean not faithful or loyal, like being untrue to a friend.
Relational.
And it can mean not in accordance with fact, like an untrue statement. Factual. The weight is totally different depending on the context.
Completely different. Being untrue to a promise breaks trust, right? Damages a relationship. But if a news report is untrue, that's about factual inaccuracy.
So the synonyms are key here.
Absolutely crucial. Disloyal only works for the commitment side, the relational breach. Inaccurate only works for the factual side. You wouldn't call a person inaccurate when they've broken a promise unless you mean they got the facts of the promise wrong somehow.
Okay.
Choosing the right synonym, disloyal or inaccurate, makes it crystal clear whether you're talking about a failure of commitment or a failure of fact. Untrue is kind of the umbrella for both kinds of integrity breaches.
That's a really helpful way to frame it.
Yeah.
All right, section 3. This is about words defining position, grouping, and absolutes. Word 5, above, straightforward meaning in or to a higher place, overhead. Examples like a plane above the clouds, a picture above the mantelpiece.
Yep, seems simple. But even with these basic position words, word choice matters in, say, more formal or descriptive writing. Look at the synonyms. Overhead and aloft.
Okay.
Overhead is pretty general, higher than your head. Simple. Aloft, though, it's a bit more specific, maybe slightly more poetic. It's often used for things flying or way up high, like in sailing or aviation contexts.
Yeah.
A flag flying aloft.
Oh, okay.
You probably wouldn't say the cereal box is aloft on the top shelf, you know?
Right. Definitely not.
So aloft adds a specific flavor, a certain elevation.
Okay, good distinction. Then we have twosome. A group or set of two people or things. A pair. Examples were like a tennis doubles match or people arriving socially as a twosome. It sounds a bit casual. Could it sound unprofessional in formal writing?
That's a really sharp question. And yes, absolutely. You have to be careful with twosome.
Yeah.
It has a very conversational, almost slightly cute feel to it. It just doesn't fit in a formal essay or a serious report. If you mean two things, stick with pair or dual or simply two. Duo often implies they work together or perform together, like a musical duo.
Right.
Twosome is really best for casual social contexts, like friends showing up somewhere together, where their specific function isn't the main point.
So fine for chatting about who came to the party, not for an academic paper.
Exactly that. Keep it informal.
Okay. Next is especially. Great word for emphasis. To a great extent, particularly or specifically. Used for highlighting preferences, loving all fruit but especially mangoes, or pointing out relevance advice that's especially helpful for newbies.
And the synonyms help refine that emphasis. You've got notably and exceptionally.
Okay.
If something is notably useful, you're basically just pointing it out, drawing attention to it. Hey, look at this specific detail.
Right.
But if someone performed exceptionally well, especially under difficult conditions, you're saying they went above and beyond the normal standard. Outstanding performance.
Oh, okay.
Especially is handy because it can kind of do both jobs. It can draw attention like notably, or highlight outstanding quality like exceptionally. It's like a little spotlight.
Nice. Okay, let's talk about sameness with identical. Exactly the same or alike in every way. Total match, right? Like identical twins, identical answers on a test, zero difference allowed.
Correct. It states the fact these things are the same, but now compare that to the synonym indistinguishable.
Okay.
While identical things are by definition indistinguishable, using the word indistinguishable shifts the focus slightly. It emphasizes the difficulty in telling them apart rather than just the fact that they are the same.
Ah, I see.
So you might use indistinguishable when talking about, say, high-quality fakes, or 2 microbes under a microscope. It highlights the practical challenge of telling the difference.
That's subtle, but yeah, a useful difference in focus.
Yeah.
All right, last one in the section, a real intensifier. Completely, meaning in every way or as much as possible. Totally.
Used for physical states, completely dark, mental lapses, completely forgot, big changes, completely unexpected.
Total coverage. And the synonyms, wholly and utterly, give you different flavors. Wholly feels a bit more formal and just means entirely, without remainder. Like the project was wholly dependent on funding.
Utterly, though. That one often carries more emotional weight. It's frequently used with strong feelings or dramatic situations. You're utterly devastated, or it was an utter failure.
Right, sounds more intense.
Exactly. So if you just need to say fully, completely, or wholly works well. If you want to add that emotional punch, utterly is often the better pick.
Good to know. All right, section 4, diving into emotions, intuition, discomfort, that kind of thing. Starting with monotonous. Dull, tedious, and repetitious, lacking in variety. Examples were boring lectures, repetitive factory work. The feeling is just, ugh.
Yeah, it's that lack of variety that just drains you. And the synonym humdrum really nails that feeling of boring routine.
Humdrum, right.
It's specifically about the repetition. And often when you use monotonous, you want to follow it up with what needs to change. Like the example says, break the monotonous routine. It implies a need for escape.
Okay, then we swing to the other extreme with ardor. Enthusiasm or passion, often intense. This feels like a powerful word. Describes passion for music, or maybe that initial ardor for a job that sadly fades.
It's a great word for deep, often sustained passion. Think about dedication to art, or cause, or even love. Now, compare it to fervor.
Okay.
Fervor often suggests an intensity that's maybe higher pitched, sometimes almost zealous, like religious or political fervor. It can feel a bit overwhelming, maybe even bordering on obsessive. Ardor is usually a bit broader, maybe a little warmer, for any serious, passionate engagement.
Got it. Fervor is maybe more intense, potentially more narrow. Okay. Next is gut. This one's interesting because of the huge split in meaning.
Yeah, the literal versus the figurative.
Right. Definition covers the anatomical part, stomach, intestines, example. Spicy food upset his gut. But then the informal meaning. Courage or intuition, example. Trust your gut instinct. How do we avoid confusion there, especially in important writing?
Well, context is absolutely everything. In a scientific paper or medical report, gut is literal. You might even use viscera or intestines to be super clear and formal. But in more personal writing, storytelling, or even discussing decisions, it's usually figurative. That whole gut feeling idea is ancient, the sense that intuition or courage comes from deep inside.
Yeah.
If you use gut figuratively, just make sure the context makes it obvious. Using the full phrase gut feeling or gut instinct usually removes any doubt. But you wouldn't talk about a gut instinct in a surgical report, obviously.
Definitely not. Okay, then we have awkward, causing difficulty or embarrassment, clumsy or ungainly. This word seems really versatile. It covers social discomfort, that awful, awkward silence.
We've all been there.
Physical clumsiness, awkward movements, and even bad timing, asking for a favor at an awkward time.
It really bridges those different kinds of discomfort, doesn't it? The synonym ungainly is purely about physical clumsiness, lack of grace.
Okay.
And embarrassing is purely about that social or emotional discomfort. Awkward can handle both. A clumsy dancer might have awkward movements and then also create an awkward silence later. It's super useful, but always remember it signals some kind of difficulty, physical or social.
Right. Okay, last one for this section, a classic. To rue, to feel sorrow or regret for something. Nice examples showing future regret. She will rue the day. And past regret, he rued his hasty decision.
Such a great word for adding depth when talking about mistakes or bad outcomes. Now think about the synonyms lament and bemoan.
Okay.
Rue is very internal. It's that sharp, painful feeling inside you about something you did or didn't do.
Right.
Lament and bemoan, though, they usually imply expressing that sorrow outwardly, complaining about it, mourning it verbally. You might privately rue a bad investment, but you'd publicly lament the death of a hero or bemoan the state of the economy. It's internal feeling versus external expression.
Ah, that's a key difference. Rue is the inner sting.
Exactly.
Okay, section 5, action verbs. Speed, achievement, annoyance, improvement. First, to hurry. To move or act with great speed, to rush. Examples showed in a necessary hurry, got to catch that train, but also warn against it, don't hurry your meal.
Yeah, and the verb choice for speed matters. Hasten often feels a bit more formal, maybe more purposeful than just hurry. And dash suggests really high speed, usually for a short burst. You dash out the door. Hurry, while common, can sometimes imply maybe a slight lack of care. That's why we're told not to hurry through dinner. It suggests rushing might lead to mistakes or missing something.
Right. Implies sloppiness, potentially.
Okay.
Next. Achieve. To successfully bring about or reach a desired objective. Covers personal goals, getting good scores, teamwork success. Pretty broad.
Very broad. Now, compare it with attain and realize. Attain often implies reaching a specific, tangible goal or level. You attain a degree or attain a certain rank.
Okay.
Realize can mean making a goal happen, yes, but its other main meaning is becoming aware of something, understanding a truth.
Right.
So when talking about success, attain often emphasizes hitting that final target. Achieve might focus a bit more broadly on the whole successful effort, including overcoming the challenges along the way.
Okay. Slight difference in focus. Now for something less positive.
To annoy.
To irritate or disturb, especially persistently, can be caused by things like noise, tech glitches, or, siblings doing it on purpose.
Haha, yes. And the synonyms give you a scale of irritation. Bother or pester are usually milder.
Right.
But look at vex. That suggests a deeper level of annoyance. Something that troubles you, puzzles you, frustrates you mentally. You're annoyed by a fly buzzing around. But you might be vexed by a really tricky problem you can't solve, or a confusing instruction manual. Vex often implies the irritation is more mental or intellectual, not just a surface thing.
Vexed. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one to know for deeper frustration. Let's finish this section by going up. To elevate, I like how this works in different dimensions. Physically lifting something like an elevator. Advancing your career.
Yep, professional elevation.
And even improving your mood. Like music can elevate your spirits.
Exactly. It covers those three key areas, and the synonyms show the upper limits. Promote is the standard word for career advancement, but exalt, that goes much higher. It has a very formal, sometimes even spiritual feel. It means raising something to the absolute highest level of dignity, praise, or glory. You elevate someone's status, maybe, but you exalt a king, a deity, or a noble ideal. It's the ultimate raising up.
Wow, okay. Exalt is for the highest peaks.
Yeah.
All right, final section. Section 6. A quick run through character flaws, money, importance, calm, time, looks, and smarts. First, immodest. Lacking humility or decency, conceited or boastful. The source warns against immodest claims on a CV, right? Pushing for humility.
Exactly. And it catches two kinds of problems. Being arrogant inside and maybe acting improperly outside. The synonym conceited is all about the inner self-admiration, the boasting.
Okay.
But indecent is about external behavior, breaking rules of propriety or decorum. Immodest can cover both bragging too much or maybe dressing or acting inappropriately. It's a critique of character on two fronts.
Got it. Moving to money. Insolvent. Big one in business. Unable to pay debts owed, bankrupt. Applies to companies failing, a legal status, and even personal finance advice budget to avoid becoming insolvent.
Yeah, and precision matters hugely here. The casual word is just broke.
Right.
There's a more formal literary word, impecunious, which means generally poor or having little money.
Impecunious. Okay.
But insolvent is the specific legal and business term. It means you literally cannot meet your financial obligations. For a company analysis, you need insolvent or bankrupt. Impecunious just wouldn't be right.
Right. Insolvent for the official financial inability. Next, essential. Absolutely necessary or extremely important. Fundamental. The examples are strong. Water for life, packing the essentials, communication and relationships. Feels non-negotiable.
It really sets the bar high for importance. And the synonyms vital and indispensable raise it even more. Vital means critically important, needed for life or success. Indispensable suggests something cannot be done without. It cannot be replaced without serious problems or total failure. Communication might be essential for a good relationship, but oxygen is indispensable for life. You literally cannot substitute it.
Right. Indispensable means there's no alternative. Okay. How about disposition? Peaceable. Inclined to avoid argument or violent conflict. Peaceful. Describes someone's nature, a peaceable person, or an action, a peaceable protest.
And this is where people often get tripped up between peaceful and peaceable.
Oh yeah, how so?
Peaceful usually describes a state of being, a peaceful place, a peaceful afternoon, calm, quiet.
Okay.
Peaceable describes an inclination or a tendency to act in a non-aggressive way. A peaceable person actively tries to avoid conflict, seeks peaceable solutions. It's about their behavior and character, not just the atmosphere.
Okay. Peaceful is the state. Peaceable is the tendency to act that way. Got it. Quickly on to time. Nightfall. Nice word for the onset of night, dusk or twilight. Marks that shift. Animals waking up, city lights coming on.
Yeah, it's more evocative than just saying when it got dark, isn't it? It captures that specific moment of transition.
It does. Now, a word with that interesting dual meaning, handsome. We know the common one, good looking, usually a man, but the other meaning, maybe less used now, is about quantity or generosity. A handsome reward, handsome profits.
And you really need to know that second meaning, especially for business or more formal contexts. When you apply handsome to things like profits or a donation or price, it means substantial, generous, sizable.
Right.
It's not just nice-looking profits. It means they were good, significant profits. It adds a sense of quality and abundance. Still a very useful meaning.
Definitely. And last one, stupid. Lacking intelligence or common sense, dense or foolish. The example of a stupid mistake shows it's about actions and judgment too, not just someone's overall intelligence.
Exactly. It's a strong criticism of someone's thinking or actions. Comparing synonyms like idiotic and senseless helps. Idiotic is pretty blunt, questioning basic intelligence.
Yeah.
Senseless often applies more to actions that seem to have no purpose or logic at all, like senseless violence. A bad decision might be stupid, lacking common sense, but an act that achieves nothing destructive might be called senseless. Stupid is broader, but you'd use it when there's a clear failure of judgment involved.
Okay, that clarifies the usage. Phew. Wow. Okay, that was quite the deep dive into those 27 words. I think the biggest takeaway really is that mastering vocabulary isn't just memorizing. It's about understanding those subtle differences, knowing when to use candid instead of heartfelt, or colossal versus enormous.
Exactly. That
choice is where the real power lies for clear communication. So now it's over to you, the listener, to try putting this precision into practice.
Absolutely. And it connects back. Think about wanting to achieve your goals. That was word 16, right?
Yeah.
That often depends on learning from mistakes. You articulate all of that, your ambitions, your successes, even your failures, much more clearly than using simpler words. So here's a challenge. Pick 5 words from today's list. Just 5. And consciously try to use them in a meaningful way sometime this week, maybe in an email, a conversation, even just journaling. That's how you really make them your own.
That's an excellent challenge, a practical step. And of course, if you found this deep dive helpful, please do like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.